Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. I got an email from Anonymous. Subject line says, please watch ongoing cyber attacks and quote unquote, more red flags than 9/11. So I wanted to see what that was all about. In the email, it says, hi, Jared. You definitely want to see this if you haven't already. It's a video of a press conference held by an Ohio sheriff who recently was briefed in D.C. regarding national security. Ongoing cyber attacks and quote unquote, more red flags than 9/11. He's saying what happened in Israel could happen here. Just passing this along anonymously. Thank you, Anonymous. I typically don't look at YouTube videos. If you send me a YouTube video, there's almost a 100% chance that I'm not going to watch it because I don't have time to do that. Unless, like Anonymous did right here, they explain what's interesting about the video or what specifically, like what the main point of the video is or the thing that they would want to share on my channel. You know, so a lot of times people send me YouTube videos with no context or anything like that. And I don't have time to do that as I'm researching to do my own YouTube videos. So if you can help me by explaining what it is that you find is interesting of that video, then please do like Anonymous did and put it in the email. So this takes us to WDTN TV. I guess it's Channel 2 News, NBC. I'm not sure exactly where, but this was, well, probably Ohio, I would imagine. This was put out February 7th, so just a few days ago. And we're going to read through the transcript. So this is really interesting. And I guess it doesn't surprise me because of what happened in Israel. I really think that this war is different than any previous conflict or war that they've had. There's so much potential for this to turn into a regional war, which it almost already is. I guess, you know, technically the United States is not at war with Yemen or with Iran or these militias in Syria and Iraq. But if you were to take like an ancient prophet and bring them to today, how do you think that they would describe what's going on in the Middle East when it comes to like the United States involvement and these militias and terrorist groups? They would probably describe it as a war because they don't think in modern terms like, well, the United States hasn't technically declared war on this group or that country. So there's already this kind of like regional conflict, and it's really polarizing the world. The ground operation is still ongoing in the Gaza Strip. It's not complete yet. And every day that goes by, it seems more and more like Israel's going to go after Hezbollah because they've taken, let me just pull up Google Earth, up along the border of Lebanon. I think it's a 5-kilometer zone. There's like a 5-kilometer buffer zone where they've evacuated any Israeli residents that live along here because it's too dangerous because Hezbollah is attacking from up here. And so it's like a restricted zone right now. So if like, for example, I'm sure that this town, Shlomi and Hanita, they're evacuated right now. And at some point, these people need to come back to their homes and resume life. And Hezbollah is not letting up. So, like I said, I've seen so many reports quoting the defense minister of Israel saying that we're going to have to take care of this. If it doesn't stop, this is the next thing that we're going after is Hezbollah, and it will be an all-out war. And of course, if that happens, it's going to be a new escalation. It's going to take things to a completely new level. So if you're on the other side of this, you're Hezbollah, you're Hamas, you're Iran, you're whatever, it would seem natural that maybe you would want to attack the United States or some other Western country in their homeland via terrorism, right? So it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. And many of you have commented and emailed about the border situation. And the border situation is one of these topics I don't really like talking about because I feel like there's this kind of, it's definitely serious. I want it to stop. I want the end of illegal immigration into the United States. Why? Because it's illegal. You can't just do that. That's not how countries work. You know, but it's happening, and there's all sorts of characters coming across the border. I realize that, and it's a danger. How big of a danger, I don't know, but I guess that's what we're going to be talking about in this video as we go over what this sheriff says right here. Am I worried about, my own safety? No, not really. Am I worried about yours? Yeah. But like if they carry out some kind of attack, it's not going to be like it's countrywide, so I think we have to keep things in proportion. I don't want anybody to be attacked or fall victim to an attack on the United States. If it does happen, I mean, look what happened with 9/11. We ended up going to war with Afghanistan, and then a couple years later, we invaded Iraq. So, and I understand that there's secret combinations that want things like that to happen and could be in cahoots with some of these people. So I won't be surprised if there is some kind of attack, if it leads to us formally entering into war in the Middle East against Iran or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm also not going to lose my mind and worry about it and add to the chaos when we talk about these political things. Like, we need to talk about it, but sometimes I feel like we kind of cross that line where it's like we get fanatical about it, we become radicalized, and I don't know, and we let fear take over and contention as we argue against our friends and family that are on the other side of the issue. Well, we need to be peacemakers, but we do have to act appropriately and have real conversations, not these pointless debates where neither side is going to back down or change their mind. So be involved in politics, vote, run for some office if you can. Maybe you should pray about it and think about doing that. And then on top of that, like I've said, if you really want to change the world, if you really want to change it, you start with yourself and you base your life on the gospel, and then you teach your family, and then you try and bring others into the church, and you change them all the way down to their very core. You change the core values. And this spreads peace and stability and hope and righteousness. So if you want to fight against these things, it may seem like, oh, well, that's not going to stop anything. It does. Sharing the Book of Mormon, I think, goes a lot further than what you think. And it's not like you personally are going to change the entire situation, but big things happen as the result of many, many small little steps that lead up to the big thing. So do your part. Live the gospel. Spread the gospel. Be part of politics, even if it's just at the city level. Make sure you vote. Make sure you have constructive conversations with people who are actually interested in the truth and are persuadable because they're not rigid in their political positions. So with all that in mind, let's read what he says. We'll talk some more. So I have the transcript. I'm just going to read directly from the YouTube transcript. Okay. And I don't think we're going to read the whole thing, but we'll read a good portion of it. And I'll put the link for this video in the description box below in case you want to watch it or watch the whole thing or whatever. Okay. How's everybody doing today? Morning. Okay. We're going to shut the doors. We'll start off with, my name is Rick Jones. I'm the Butler County Sheriff, Butler County, Ohio. I just got back from a national sheriff's training in DC 2 days ago. We were briefed by the FBI director, Ray, the director of the FBI and several federal agencies. There's 3,300 sheriffs in the United States. The president of the United States refuses to meet with the sheriffs of the 3,300 we have. Okay. With the sheriff. Okay. So the president refuses to meet with the sheriffs. Okay. Of the 3,300 we have a hierarchy. We have a president, we have a vice president. President of the United States refuses to meet with the sheriffs. So he's saying that there's like basically some kind of like sheriff's association, and they have like a president of the sheriff's association and vice president. They have a hierarchy. and Joe Biden will not meet with them. Okay. He also refuses to meet with police chiefs of the United States. They have a hierarchy. Also, he refuses to meet with them to talk about border issues or to talk about crime that's going on because of the border issue. We were also told by Mr. Ray, that the FBI director, that there are more red flags going off now than before 9/11. Okay, when I say red flags, meaning people that are here in this country that are wanting to do harm to us. We were also explained we were also explained that, we're bombing two countries right now. Two countries. These people do not like us. He's referring to, I don't know that it's just two countries. I haven't kept on top of exactly where the airstrikes are taking place. I know Yemen for sure. That was the first one to pop off because the Houthis that are in control of this part of the country, they have the capital. There's this like ongoing civil war in Yemen, but the Houthis decided to support Hamas because they themselves are supported by Iran. Iran is orchestrating everything. And so they've been attacking commercial vessels coming through here in the Red Sea, because if you're in the Mediterranean, if you're shipping from Italy, it's a quicker route. Instead of going all the way around Africa, it's a quicker route to come through here, through the Suez Canal, the Red Sea, and then over here, and then go to India or Pakistan or Thailand or something like that. Right? So we are currently attacking targets in Yemen. I think we still are. Like I said, it's been a few days since I've looked into that. We haven't bombed Iran directly, but we have hit targets that are in alignment with Iran. Now, my understanding is probably both in Syria and Iraq. I'm not sure. You can correct me in the comments below if you'd like. But anyway, those are the areas that he's talking about. So right now, two countries, these people do not like us. They didn't like us before this started. There's thousands of people here from other countries, 160 different countries. They're here not to be our friends. Some of them are coming because they're wanting to come here to the best country in the world, the way we see it. Some are coming here to do us harm. And we were told by the FBI director, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We were also told 5 sheriffs went to Israel 5 weeks after the attack. The only thing that saved the Israelis, now pay attention to this. The only thing that saved the Israelis, the Israeli government, was the local police. They were outgunned, outmanned. The Palestinians did. They came over and killed and raped the sheriffs. Or sorry, they didn't rape the sheriffs. They came over, killed and raped. Which, by the way, let me just pause right here. When we read about the final war and the siege on Jerusalem and how there's that verse, and I can't pull it up right now because the church site is down or something like that. I was actually preparing for a different video, but I couldn't get through to certain parts of the church website. So I don't know if the church website is currently under a cyber attack. He's going to talk about that in a minute. But you know the verse, I think it's in Zechariah. It may be Ezekiel. It may be the book of Revelation, but it talks about Jerusalem and how the city will be under siege. And the house is, how does it say? It says like the house is rifled or something, and the women ravished. So basically raped. And when you think about the language back then, the way that they would talk about the land, I think when they're talking about Israel or when they're talking about Jerusalem, it's not just the city. Now I could be wrong about this, but how would a prophet of those days describe the modern nation state of Israel? They wouldn't say, the modern nation state of Israel will be attacked. They'll be invaded. The women will be ravished. The house is rifled. I think that they would just call it Jerusalem, the land of Jerusalem. Now, I don't know. Maybe they're literally talking about the actual city, but whatever the case, that's been one of the main features of the October 7th attacks is how brutal it was. Unspeakable things that happened, including rape. I feel like that could fulfill that prophecy, even though it wasn't in Jerusalem proper. It's in the modern nation state of Israel, and maybe that's what those prophets meant, is the state of Israel. But anyway, I'm not going to say one way or the other. That's just something to think about. The sheriffs were there. They talked to the police, the local police. The local police are what saved the country. You can't just call, even in Israel, you can't just call it the military and they're going to be there. Okay. They went house to house, raping, killing the Israeli police. When our guys got there, the sheriff said, sorry, it's hard because there's no punctuation, so you'll have to forgive me. Said they don't just hate us, they hate you guys equally. Oh yeah. So like the Israeli police said, they don't just hate us, they hate you guys equally. And the same people that train them are the same people that train people to hate us, The FBI director said when 9/11 hit, there's more red flags now than then. So, and he said, these are people that want to kill us and do harm to us. So you're wondering, I want everybody to know what I know. I can't tell you everything, but I want the public to know that we are in a terrible way right now. The United States, and I'm going to get to the local. The United States is on defense. You can't just be on defense and not have an offense. We have no offense. We're just defense. We're absorbing these attacks. We're in other countries. We're supplying them with weapons. We're supplying them with our treasure, our money, and we're not doing much back home. So with that in mind, we were also told that this is from the federal government. 3 days ago, they're going to attack our elections, which they've always done, just not the national. Well, and I guess that's debatable, isn't it? They're going to go into the locales. They encouraged us to talk to our local election officials and be prepared as much as they can for cyber attacks, even locally. You have to be prepared. We've been told that again. We're coming here. They're coming here to do harm to us. And even in Ohio or in the United States, we're going to be able to call and ask for help from the federal government. They're going to be busy. The military is not coming. The National Guard. When 9/11 hit, it was all the police and the fire, and they were in total organized chaos. The military had the sky, and don't want somebody at. Sorry, it's kind of frustrating reading this. I wasn't going to take the time to go through and write this out. That would have taken forever. So he's saying that think about when 9/11 happened. It's not like the Army, the Marines were instantly there, the Navy. You had the Air Force and the sky. Yes, that's something that can happen very quickly, but not so much the other things. It takes time to prepare, deploy, right? So it's local emergency responders that respond to those things. That's something to think about. Now, really quick, Anonymous, you said he's saying that what happened in Israel could happen here. I would have to say I don't think he's saying, and I kind of went through the rest of this. I did Control F and search for any other time he talked about Israel. I didn't see anything where he said that something like what happened in Israel could happen here. Yes, there could be terrorist attacks, but you wouldn't have a situation where you'd have people pouring over the border from Mexico or Canada and then going through these communities and then kidnapping people and taking them back to Canada or Mexico. Because that was one of the main features of the October 7th attacks is the hostages. And that's actually, I think, one of the main reasons why this war is the way that it is, why Israel's taking it very seriously. And they're not just doing airstrikes like what they've done in the past. There's still hostages to this day that are in Gaza. Ever since October 7th, they're still in Gaza. I actually saw an article today. Let's see. Hostages rescued. Yeah, we'll just look at this. CNN, Israeli forces rescue 2 hostages as airstrikes kill around 100 Palestinians in Rafah. So, of course, CNN's going to do its best to portray things a certain way because they're on the other side. But there's still those hostages. So I don't think that we would see something like that. I don't think that we would see suddenly just like a large attack from some central location where they go into like different communities and go door to door. That would take quite a bit. Like maybe they could, but as far as like retreating to a safe place, I don't know that they would have that. Where are you going to retreat to, and where are you going to take hostages to? So I don't think it'd be quite the same. I think it'd just be a classic, terrorist attack if something did happen. As to the scale, I don't know. Just because there's a lot of red flags more than before 9/11, I don't know that indicates that it's going to be a bigger attack than what happened back then. It may just be that it's like much, 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 much more likely, or there's just like a lot of talk. Or maybe it's like a wide scale thing. Maybe it's going to be, if it does happen, maybe it'll be like nationwide, multiple locations rather than just one. So I guess we'll just have to see, let's try and continue here if I can. Okay. I don't want somebody ask me I am like doom. Okay. So he doesn't want to be seen as Doomsday Jones. And I said, I'm not like Chicken Little. I want you to know what I know. And if you don't believe what I'm telling you, that's okay. You can do what the Israeli citizen's done. You can build a little safe house in your basement, and good luck. Now, getting to where we've been attacked here in Butler County, you're going to think we'll never have been attacked. We have. The Russians attacked our system, our electronic system. Now, he's talking about a county, a county government. But have you heard of Butler County before? I haven't heard of Butler County. So the Russians attacked our system, our electronic system, our computer system. They hacked it. They also are trying to hack not just ours. And then we were down for 2 months. Just a paper hacked our dispatching hacked. Everything now was, oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's almost like incoherent reading this. As we speak today, the Russians are still attacking our computer system, just like they're attacking most of yours. But I want the public to know this. The Chinese tried to attack our cyber system here in Butler County. So now the Russians and the Chinese are attacking Butler County, and of course other counties across the nation, which includes everything that we have dispatching for police and fire 5 times a day. I want to repeat, 5 times a day, the Iranians are attacking our computer system and trying to hack it 3 times a day. I want to repeat, 3 times a day now, they're doing that to help, not to help us or to be your friends. No, they're trying to disrupt everything that we do. And this next election coming up, they're trying to do the same. So what we're doing here is we've got rifles in every police vehicle. We have what we have. We have a what we call a go bag. We have extra magazines, and we're going to start training civilians. We've offered classes to train civilians, and we're going to start training civilians on what to do when disasters hit and emergencies hit. Naturally, we can't train the whole country. We put this up online yesterday. It's full already. We can do like 30 people at a time. We're trying to get it. And the organization that is doing that is Texas A&M. I think he said A&M. They're coming here. The federal government's paying, which that's kind of weird. That might not be right. They're coming here. The federal government's paying for it. They're going to train 30 civilians on what to do when disaster hits. 30 out of 400,000 people is not much. So we're trying to get more classes. Okay, so he goes on to talk about that and cyber attacks. He talked about the Chinese balloons and drones and all this stuff. So anyway, I don't think I'm going to read anything else from this. I don't think there's much else to talk about. Like, that was like the main thing, that they're seeing more red flags right now than before 9/11, and that it's a question of when, not if. So I guess what we should do is just we ourselves be prepared. Make sure you have food storage. Make sure you have a 72-hour kit. If you can, if it's legal where you're at, and if, you know, whatever you have to do to own one, maybe it's a good idea to own a firearm. I wouldn't go all paranoid and start, you know, being afraid to go anywhere or do anything. I would continue to live life like normal. That's what I'm going to do. But I would just be cautious and, you know, keep your head on a swivel and look around, pay attention to the news, and just watch out for things that are suspicious, right? Keep living life. Don't be afraid that everything's coming to an end. We've been attacked before. It happened in 2001. I'm still here. You're still here. You know, there is disaster that happens. You know, there's a lot of talk about the United States being attacked as part of the last days, and that very well could be, but just think about the fact that it already has. It was attacked. We were attacked at Pearl Harbor, which caused us to enter World War II. We were attacked 9/11, and there's many, many different ways that the country is attacked. We don't need to get all paranoid. And in fact, if anything, our church leaders are talking positively about the future, that the future is bright. And I think that it is. Don't go all doomsday, and just stick with what the brethren say. Don't just look at what's said in the past in the Journal of Discourses. Look at what they've been saying this entire time. You know, we can expect, as the world becomes more wicked, as the United States in particular becomes more wicked, to have more disasters, to have famine, pestilence, war, things like that. But anyway, there's many reasons to believe that the second coming is sooner than later. So in the meantime, let's just do the best that we can. Be aware of these things, but let's be optimistic about the future. And probably really the most important thing that you can do is to live righteously and to be on the covenant path. If you are less active or inactive, I did a poll on my channel about this. And there were the majority that took the poll said that they are active. Like, it was something like 93%. In fact, actually, let me look at that right now. I don't know how many more people may have taken it since that time. Let's go to my channel, go to community. Let's go down to right here. Okay, so 92% said that they're active. This is from about 2,000 votes. So 92%, that's good. Less active, 5%. Inactive, 2%. And then 1% said not a member of the church. So if you are in one of these categories, please do something about it, and do it now. It doesn't mean that you have to like run faster than you have strength, but do like the necessary things. So if you're less active or inactive, that means that you're already a member of the church. Go back to church. Start going back to church. Start reading your scriptures. If you need help, reach out to your ministering brothers and sisters. You can talk to the missionaries. You know, they're always there to work with less active and inactive people. Start praying. But don't just watch YouTube and don't just go about your life like nothing's wrong. If you're watching this channel, it's probably because you're interested in the second coming, and you more or less believe some of what I say about what I believe about how it's close. So do something about it. Return to activity. Don't be one of the foolish virgins that is unprepared at the time of the marriage feast. You're going to want to attend. And you're definitely going to want to at least live a terrestrial law. Because if you're telestial, you're not going to be moving on once Christ comes. So please come back to church. If you're not a member of the church, hit me up. I'll send you the missionaries. Let me know. Send me an email. Or just go look for the missionaries. Go to the church website and request missionaries. Request a copy of the Book of Mormon and investigate it. And if you have questions for me, let me know. So anyway, this is to be expected, I think. This is another sign of the times. And we'll just have to wait and see what actually happens. And once it does happen, we don't have to lose our minds. We just know that these things are supposed to happen and just try and be safe. All right, well, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.